So Joseph went up from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to Bethlehem, the town of David, where he belonged to the house and the line of David. He went there to register with Mary, who was pledged to be married to him and was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for the baby to be born, and she gave birth to her firstborn, a son. She wrapped him in clothes and placed him in a manger, because there was no guest room available for them. So with this passage of Luke, I really wanted to think about Mary and the plight of Mary, and we talk about life being messy, and I thought, well, she's 14, 15, really young teenage girl, pregnant, but betrothed or engaged to somebody who's not going to be the father. She's got to travel 80 to 90 miles from Nazareth to Bethlehem. I hadn't actually thought before about the journey that would have been, the type of journey through really difficult terrain, probably really hot in the day, very cold at night. She's got to go to the town that Joseph was born in Bethlehem, and probably face his family and explain why she's pregnant by him, and the fact that he's not, why she's pregnant, and the fact that he's not the father. And then she gets to Bethlehem, and they can't find anywhere to stay. So they end up staying in a room where there's hay on the floor and animals around. So when we talk about life being messy, I think how messy it must have been for Mary to be in that situation, and how frustrating for her. And it sort of connected me to about 2 years ago, I was invited to a friend's house for a meal just before Christmas. And there was loads of emails flying around about what time we were meeting, and then WhatsApp messages. And I turned up at 6 o'clock in the evening, and I completely got the time wrong. It was supposed to be 8. So she opened the door in a state of, good grief, what are you doing here now? And I didn't realise I was 2 hours early. So I offered to come in and help with a meal and prepare it. And I was like, I'll be sous chef. Now, this friend of mine is one of those people that everything has to be perfectly in its place, very neat, very tidy, very organised, unlike me. And I walked into the kitchen, and it was a mess. There was vegetable peel all over the place, and pots here, and pans of half full of this and that, and it was like the kitchen was in chaos. And she was so apologetic, and I'm like, no, let me see, what can I do to help, just tell me what I need to do. Anyway, by 8 o'clock, the meal was ready. It was absolutely fantastic. The guests who did arrive came at the right time, unlike me, and they turned up, and the house was spotless. The food was amazing. The meal was fantastic, and they would never have known the mess that was involved in making that meal. And I said to her at the end, if I hadn't come earlier and seen that mess, I wouldn't have known. But it actually made me appreciate the meal even more, because I'd seen the mess that it had taken to make that fantastic meal. And it was a bit like with Mary. When I think about Mary, I think, gosh, the mess that she went through to give birth and fulfill the prophecy made me appreciate the Christmas story and her situation even more.